The Sick Rose by William Blake, 1757 to 1827. O rose, thou art sick, the invisible worm that flies in the night, in the howling storm, has found out thy bed of crimson joy, and his dark secret love does thy life destroy. Okay, this is a poem by William Blake. William Blake was a poet of the Romantic age. He was born in Soho in London, and he grew up there until he was about 25. He was a poet and a painter, and also he made prints, and his prints are quite interesting. Anyway, what is this poem about? Okay, this poem is about the loss of virginity. This poem is about a worm, and the worm is the male phallus, and the worm has got into the rose and has made the rose sick. So the rose is sick because of the worm. So let's see, we have this rose. O rose, thou art sick. So what does the rose represent? Well, the rose represents beauty, innocence, and virginity. The rose, this is a symbol of a young woman. This is a symbol of innocence, and it's also this is the rose gives us the idea of romance and passion. We still give roses to our loved one on Valentine's Day. Also, this rose is something that is transient because the rose opens, and once it's open, the next thing is it's going to die. And the rose is sick. O rose, thou art sick. So this this is saying that the rose has suffering. The rose is sick because of the invisible worm. The worm has corrupted the rose. So this worm has got into the flower of the rose. It's, I think, a canker worm, and it's eating it. It's destroying the rose. And this worm is death and decay. In medieval times, the worm and the snake were the same thing. They were interchangeable. And here we have the idea of Eve being seduced by the serpent in the Garden of Eden. And okay, I think this worm is invisible. It's so the worm in the rose. It's something that you can't see, but the rose is sick. And in the same way, a woman who was a young girl who has lost her virginity. This is not something you can see directly on the surface, but innocence is no more. So, O rose, thou art sick, you're sick, rose, the invisible worm that flies in the night in the howling storm. So I think this worm is something that is always there. It's always present. It's something that can make its way through the howling storm. It is there in the night. It's something that you don't see, but the danger is there. Has found out thy bed of crimson joy. So the worm has found the bed of the rose. So a rose grows in a rose bed, but also the bed of the young girl. So the rose has found where the innocence is. okay, has found out thy bed of crimson joy. So crimson, this is the colour of blood, and there is a metaphor here that is connected to the blood that comes with the loss of virginity, the breaking of the hymen. And this rose, it's affected by his dark secret love dost thou life destroy. So the worm has destroyed her life. It's destroyed her true value. It's taken away her virginity. And I think in these times, the loss of virginity reduced any prospects a woman would have in those days for the rest of her life. And this is the death and sickness that is the sickness in the storm in this poem. So we've got a real rose that is eaten by a worm, and we have got innocence that is destroyed by sex, by men. So, The Sick Rose by William